a better way to hire your marketing team. Hello, this is episode 300 of the Marketing for Owners podcast with me, John Butt. I feel kinda chuffed. That's not bad for a daily podcast, Monday to Friday. That's like 60 weeks worth. Blimey, it's longer than a year, John. When I do stuff, I like to stick with it. So you're going to find me around here for some time to come. But it's quite exciting. Anyway, I've got some ideas for you. This was inspired by a recent chat I had with my Australian friend James Schramko, and talking about how they hire people. Now, this will be in an upcoming episode of the Wednesday interview. Pay close attention Wednesday, because that's when I get the experts and they tell you the good stuff. That's where I learn from, by the way. But he was explaining how he hires. Now, I combined that with a number of the ways we do things and some of the considerations of others, such as the Basecamp people and many others who've been doing this for many years. Because a lot of us in, say, traditional businesses don't think really outside the box and haven't cottoned on to what is possible in the modern world in the 21st century in hiring. So we think we have to have people who live within a drive, who come to premises, who are local, who we have to see every day. And it's not like that. So this is a weekend challenge. As you know, Fridays we have the weekend challenge. You can see them all at marketingforowners.com/challenge. There's rather a lot, so you can go through them. So this is just going to give you some ideas and thoughts the next time you hire, or when you say, but I can't find anyone to do social media, etc., because I live in the middle of nowhere in a country. I live on a farm, something like that. Well, check this out. So, number one of this. And by the way, I'm assuming that you've got your pen and you've got a pad or a piece of paper. If you haven't, don't you worry, we got you covered. You can get the notes later from marketingforowners.com/podcast/300. The number 300. Every single show is transcribed in full, all the notes, all the links you'd ever need. It's all there. You can go look at the old ones as well. Some of them are quite good, apparently. So, number one, look worldwide for talent. Do not restrict yourself. This is the World Wide Web, and people communicate via email, via Skype, via messaging systems, via text, via anything, via Facebook, via groups, via forums. You do not need the person to be sitting in the office watching you. There are ways that it can be done. Now this, by expanding your reach, this increases your chances of finding a better quality person, a more qualified person, and this is the great thing, it saves a fortune. For example, I'm in the UK, many of you may be in the USA or South Africa or Canada or Australia. How about the Philippines? Now, in the Philippines, the language of business is English, is American English, but that's okay. So this is in the UK, and many of us are not aware that Filipinos mostly speak English. There's call centres galore out there, and of course, for the UK also there's India. There's a school of talent there, massive, and these people earn a fraction of what it costs to employ someone in our country because of the lower cost of living. It's not that we're cheating them, no, we pay the going rate, it's just that it's lower. And of course, when those people work from home, they don't need to travel and all that kind of good stuff, and you don't need to provide them with a desk and a computer and holiday extras and things like that. There's all sorts of ways of doing it. Now, and of course, you can have them as paid staff. You can have them as just outsourced project by project. You can do it all kinds of ways. But number two, hire for attitude. Do not worry too much about talent. Hire for attitude, also hire for character. Those are the two words that I would implore that you use when you interview people, even locally. Skills can be taught. Now, whatever you've learned over all these years, you learned. You didn't know it at the start. You may be fantastic at it now, but other people can learn as well. You're not the only clever one on the planet. So find someone with an attitude and character. That's what you're after. So when you talk to them and ask them questions, develop your questions from that end and you'll find out what they're really like. And they're going to be a benefit to you. Number 3, this is something that I learned from James, have every position covered by somebody else. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that for everyone you have to hire 2 people. But if your team, say for instance in your marketing team, you may have somebody who writes blog posts, a writer, you may have someone who does your social media. Why can't those 2 people cover each other? So at some point or other, when one's sick or is away on vacation or holiday, then another person is capable of doing the same job. And also, just as likely, if one person leaves out of the blue, you have somebody else ready. So when you hire again, that other person can train the new person. You don't have to spend your time doing all that. Pretty cool, eh? The way James does it, he has little pods of 3. So 2 people and a team leader, but he's got a much larger team. So this depends on the size. But try and have more than one person know how to do every job. We do this, by the way, at Fire Protection Online, and it saves us a fortune, a lot of headaches. Number 4, have your worker create the system. So, first of all, have systems. Now that may sound, boring, but who wants to do that? But I can explain a couple of ways to do it. One, say for instance you are doing something on Facebook, how to do a post on Facebook. Simply screencast yourself, record your screen. And what that means is use a free software like Screen-O-Matic or Cam Studio or Jing. All these things, just Google them, look them up, they're all free, they're downloads. They will record your screen and what you're saying and what you're doing. So when you next do it, record it and say, that's how you do it. Then you've got a video. Instant. You only had to do it once, didn't you? You can do this with everything. Easy, eh? Now, the other one is to use a tool, and by the way, I am outside. I don't know if that's a lawnmower or, oh no, it's one of those microlight things. I was going to say, it sounds like a lawnmower. Lovely. Hello. I bet air cold up there. So sorry about the noise. But when they're creating systems, right? When you're teaching them, they're creating systems. You show them once, and then they, as they do it, can write the system. They can use a tool such as Process Street or Suite Process or something if you want, or just simply Word, Excel, whatever. Just simply get them to do it. But most important, once they've done it, check that they are writing systems in the correct way. Take that system, give it to somebody else who doesn't know how to do the job, and ask them if they can follow it through. And it gives you proof if it's working. They do it every time. The next time you employ someone to do the same job, you've got a full manual of how it's done. Number 5, communicate often. So say for example, you are in America and the person is in the Philippines. Communicate with them all the time. Do not ignore them. Never ever assume that the person knows exactly what to do. It's probably better to assume they don't until they've been there a while. Any excuse to communicate is good. It makes them feel part of your team. It doesn't make them feel abandoned or isolated. Now, you can do that via Skype or you can do it via email, but I would suggest that you check out a service called Slack, slack.com, or just look up Slack. It's massive, it's free, and it is a way that a massive amount of organisations communicate these days. Number 6, make them feel part of the business. Do not allow somebody, and this applies to all your staff, all your team, do not allow them to just feel like they are an employee. Make them feel part of it. That means involving them in your plans, have regular meetings to tell them your plans, and then ask them for their ideas and input. Remember, you might think you're a tyrant, but that's not going to help. These people are intelligent people, they're the same as you. It's quite feasible that they are more intelligent than you and have got better ideas. How are you ever going to find out unless you ask? And that's it. Doesn't that sound like a better way to hire a team? I think it does. So just try that. It's easy. It gives you some ideas. You can apply it locally, you can apply it worldwide, but just think about it the next time you hire. Okay. Now, I know it's going to be a fabulous weekend. I'm going to be celebrating 300 episodes of my podcast, and I will be back on Monday with episode 301. Looking forward to the next 100. You have yourself a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your family or enjoy your own company. I'll see you soon.